So I invite you to bring your attention fully present into this moment, including all the sensations in your body. Just observe any thoughts. Let them come and go. And for the next 30 minutes, we'll sit together and deepen into being. You can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever you prefer. When you're ready, open your eyes. I'd like to invite anybody who'd like to connect with me and just sit together and be or explore anything to raise your digital hand and we'll bring you up on screen. Hi, Charlene.
Hiya. How you doing? I can't see.
Good. Oh, you're on the screen now because you're talking.
Oh, right, okay. Is it just me and you talking?
Yeah,
Okay,
but everyone else can see.
okay.
Yeah, take your time, just sitting here together and allowing the system to calm down and relax. No rush.
I feel like what's going on at the moment with the world is part of a shift. A bit of a global awakening in a way, I guess, and also a chance for the earth to heal. That's my thoughts on it anyway. Thinking about that a lot at the minute.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how nature is kind of forcing upon us this time to just stop and become still and have space to go within ourselves and connect with our families and get off that hamster wheel that we've been running on that's burning us out as humanity, and it's also burning out our whole planet. And it's like Mother Nature said, okay, enough.
Yeah.
I've seen some images of satellites, and it shows how the pollution levels were before and how it is now. After just a short time, so much pollution is cleared, and there's fish coming back into the canals of Venice, and nature seems to be rebirthing. And it's also an opportunity for a kind of rebirthing of us as a collective humanity.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fear and anxiety and intense emotions in the collective field right now.
Mm.
And we have this beautiful opportunity to be these anchors of peace amidst that chaos. So for all of us here, who have this shared interest in presence and walking this path of truth, we can open to that eternal stillness within our own being, which is unaffected by the outside circumstances, and we can deeply anchor ourselves in that, what I call our true nature, beyond the stories of the mind, beyond the external reality, beyond the emotions and sensations. That stillness, that formless essence, pure awareness, that's always accessible to us. And we can open up to it just by becoming very present in this moment. And that peace is always here.
Because yeah, I see what you're saying about like the satellites. Because my friend put something on Facebook there. She goes, "There's something in the sky," and she goes, "I think it's a satellite." And I didn't. I was like, I was trying to look out there, and I was like, "What can I see out there?" And I was looking, and I could see something. I didn't know what it was, and my boyfriend was like, "That's a satellite," and I was like, "Oh right, okay." And I don't think you could notice them before. Is that like? Do you think that's like the pollution clearing in the night sky?
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really hard to see. I thought it was a star at first, but I think it was a satellite.
Yeah, they do look kind of like stars. You can see them just moving slowly along the sky. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of them up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's nice to see you, Charlene.
That's nice to see you too. You're doing all right. Yeah. And I did enjoy your the Moor show. I didn't look at it straight away because it's something I kind of forgot about, and then it popped into my head about maybe a month after I spoke to you, and I watched it, and it was good.
Oh, I'm happy you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I watched it a couple of times. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there somebody else has a question?
Shaz.
Okay. Hi. Oh, we can't hear you.
Hello?
Okay. Hi, we can hear you now.
Okay, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm great.
It's
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I was just, during deep meditation, I can feel my whole body, my whole being just warm. There's a warmthness. Like I can feel all the blood cells all in my body just warm all around me. And it feels so enlightening. It feels so welcoming. So have you experienced that before?
Mm. Yeah, when we open up to higher consciousness and we become more present in the body, our attention starts to drop deeper into what you could call the energy body. And any energies that were contracted or tense begin to gently open up and relax. And it can feel a little bit like melting into this sweet nectar. And sometimes you can literally feel that that higher consciousness moving through your system, infusing every cell of your being. And sometimes it can feel like warm sensations. And sometimes in that openness, energies begin to move and release. So you might feel all kinds of sensations, like cold sensations, or the body twitching or shaking even as energies release. And the beautiful thing is that our system is so intelligent that it knows exactly what to do. It knows how to come back to its natural state of being and to bring everything back into balance and harmony. And the more we can get out of the way and just rest as pure awareness, allowing all the sensations and not trying to control or direct the experience in any way, that's when our system opens so much that those energies can move and release in their own time when they're ready. So it's beautiful that you're beginning to experience this and feeling that heat, and just enjoy it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. It's very, very beautiful to be able to gather with everyone like that.
Yeah.
It feels very helpful to me. And I wonder if there could be an offering that is regular, because it feels like at this time that kind of support be very helpful.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning to keep doing more of these Zoom meetings, especially now that a lot of us are stuck in lockdown and we're at home. And it's beautiful, like you said, that we can come together and we can just sit and be and explore whatever comes up. It's lovely to connect from all over the world like this.
Amazing.
So yeah, I definitely plan to do more, and I'm really happy that all of you can join together with me like this.
Yeah, thank you. It's beautiful to see all these faces. It's just what a treat.
It is, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I would like to ask you about the high sensitive people, because I saw videos with you, conversation, very nice conversation, deeply resonated with me. And my question is that since my childhood, I'm a high sensitive girl, woman, and what is for me now is better, but I have my own energy. It's highly optimistic, positive, etc. Because I just love life. But very often when I meet someone, I just took the energy from the people, you know, about the complaining or vibes are going low. And before I didn't know how to recognize what is mine and what is not mine. Now is the time shorter than before, but do you have something to, you know, about to how to recognize or to, some tools to be transparent to other energy? Because there is as well a high empathy to the other people, you know. So I don't know if I'm speaking clearly. So it's like you feel that collective energy is going down, deeply down. You are going, you still high, but there is some impact, and you feel that it's not yours. So how to make difference between and not to lose yourself frequency, something like this.
I understand. Yeah. Many of us here are very sensitive and also empathic, so I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with what you're speaking about. And the more that we open deeper within our own being, the more we're able to feel others, because actually there is no separation between me and you or anybody else on that deeper level. We're all one, or we're all connected. So it's a really beautiful thing that we have access to this deeper level of our being where we can feel others. So if you bring your attention fully present into this moment and let go of the idea of me as a person, of who I am as an individual, and simply allow your system to perceive what's here in this moment. You'll notice that the breath's moving through the body all by itself. And maybe sounds are heard. The sound of my voice is heard. And that's happening all by itself. And the eyes are perceiving colors, shapes, images, and that's happening all by itself. And then we notice that thoughts are arising. A thought comes and then it disappears all by itself. And maybe there's sensations in the body. Maybe a contraction or a warm feeling, many different kinds of sensations, and they appear and then they go. And all of this activity is just happening all by itself. We're not choosing any of it. It's coming, it's going, it's moving, it's changing. And that which perceives the sounds, the colors, the thoughts, the sensations, that never changes. It's pure awareness. And when we allow our attention to very gently kind of open up from this focus of me and the others, and just relax that and allow perceiving to happen. There's just this sense of I am, and there's being, and we become more present in the body. And awareness, which perceives, is beyond thought, so it doesn't have any preferences. It doesn't say this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. That's the activity of the mind. The mind labels and interprets and divides everything because it's dualistic in nature. So it says this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. Pure awareness is beyond that. It's totally whole and complete. It doesn't need anything, doesn't want anything. So when we rest our attention as awareness, just being, and allow whatever sensations arise in the body to be felt, then there's such an openness that energies pass through like an open vessel. Energy just flows through, it doesn't touch anything. Often what happens is when an energy is felt in the body which might feel a little uncomfortable, the mind interprets the sensation as bad and wrong, and it also blames the outside for making us have that experience. And the moment we identify with that thought, that this experience is wrong and it's bad and it shouldn't be like this, we begin to suffer. But if we don't engage with the thoughts, and we just watch the activity of the mind that's creating the dualistic experience, then our attention rests as this field of oneness, which is totally whole, complete. And it's in that openness where the energies flow. When the thoughts are identified with that this is wrong or bad, our system contracts because it says no. And in that contracted state, the energy can't flow freely. It gets stuck. And it can be quite painful. So often our instinct, when something feels a bit unpleasant, is to say, no, oh, I don't want it, and contract. And the mind says, how can I change this? How can I figure out how to make everyone else just stop being negative so I don't have to feel like this? If only they would all get enlightened and everything would be okay. But the reality is that's probably not going to happen, maybe for quite some time. So rather than suffering, we can just accept, okay, it's like this, that's okay. And my peace can be found within my own being, in that place that's not dependent on outside circumstances, that doesn't need anyone or anything to be any certain way. As long as we're not resisting the inner experience, we'll stay connected to that peace and that oneness, and the energy will just flow through. And it can even be a beautiful alchemic process where dense energies move through the system and we open to feeling it and just hold it in unconditional love. The dense energy is transmuted into light and releases from the system. So you can become like a walking recycling machine.
You know, the thing is that I know exactly what you're speaking about, because in my family in childhood, I was something like this because of my family was quite noisy. And but after I just contracted because it was too heavy for me, that energies, you know, too heavy to still recycling like a be adult to my parents or be parent to my parents, something like this. And I know exactly what you're speaking about, that it's like maybe some memory of my emotional body or pain body, like Eckhart Tolle is speaking about. Sometimes when someone is speaking to me on a low vibrational way, it's maybe it reminded me something from the pain body, something like this. It's true is that in meditation, I'm meditating every morning. It's like I just reorganize my cells and everything. Maybe it is like that what you said about the completely open and into unconditional love. That's what is resonating with me. I will keep doing with this.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What happens is when we're a child, especially for us sensitive ones, our system is so open, and we're just radiating this gentleness and this love. And many of us experienced growing up in a field that was actually not supportive for our nervous system. And so our system had to develop survival mechanisms to get us through life. It's really good that it did, because it got us to where we are today. One of these survival mechanisms is just for our system to contract when there's too much overwhelm and the system feels it can't process all that energy at once, because nobody modeled it to us how to be present and stay open, and nobody supported us in that. So our system contracted, and in that moment of contraction, the energies got stuck. And over time, with each contraction, those stuck energies kind of become magnetized towards each other and form what Eckhart Tolle calls the pain body, this dense energy field. And when we come into contact with an energy that's of a similar vibration to that, the energies trigger each other, so that repressed, unprocessed energy in our system kind of wakes up, and it feels kind of yucky. And the mind says, oh, if only other people would change, then I wouldn't have to feel this. But actually, it's a beautiful thing that what we could call the pain bodies waking up, because that's our opportunity for deep healing and integration. That's our moment to meet those energies with unconditional love and have the willingness just to stay present and really deeply feel in the body and stay open and allow that which the mind labels as unacceptable, unbearable, too much, just to stay with it and feel it. And every second that we're feeling consciously those energies, they're releasing from the system and integrating, so healing is taking place. So when we feel that uncomfortable energy, rather than trying to find a way to fix it or get rid of it, we can say, well, thank you. Thank you for bringing me this opportunity to deepen in presence, to open deeper to unconditional love. Because unconditional love begins with our own inner experience. And the more we're able to allow and open to that inner experience, which can be intense or unpleasant, the greater our capacity to hold the space of unconditional love for the outside. So it becomes our spiritual practice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. I know exactly what I'm speaking about, because when I'm feeling something like this, and for example, I'm doing something or watching something, and I stop everything, I just stay sitting in silence and go within my body. And it's really interesting how it works. That's really true. It's still more, it's a short time, still shorter and shorter between reaction and feel that emotion in the body, since I started to work with it. And can I just have only last question, because I know that there are a lot of sensitive people, and I know that very often we are in relationship with the friends or boyfriends or girlfriends, and we put them on the first place than us, very often. And when we start to, because we know into the other person, we know, we feel or we sense their own pain more than others, very often. And there is a kind of like a boundary to say, okay, I feel that you need a lot of love, but I have to give love to myself on the first place. Do you know what I mean with this question?
Yeah, so it's like finding this balance
Mm-hmm.
between meeting our own inner experience
Mm-hmm.
and also setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the kind of spiritual distortions that a lot of people take on is this belief that, okay, so whatever happens to be spiritual, I just have to accept it and be unconditionally loving and just say yes, yes, yes. If this person's yelling at me, shouting abuse at me, okay, I'm spiritual, so I'll just allow it and be one. And it's not about that. It's not about trying to become an idea of what it means to be spiritual. It's about being so present in the moment and so connected to our own inner experience that we are really in tune with what's appropriate for that moment, of how to respond, not react, but respond from a deeper place of silence and stillness. And when we're connected to that deeper place of stillness within our own being, the most appropriate response will come naturally. We don't have to think about it. And sometimes that means saying, no, this is not okay. And we're able to set a boundary firmly and clearly, and also gently and loving. So it's not a reactiveness where we're yelling. It's just that stillness inside. But that requires us to first meet fully our own inner experience and find peace within, and then respond, and then take the necessary action.
Thank you. Namaste.
Yeah. Namaste.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Louise. Thanks for putting this together. This is very sweet. I just wanted to talk about something I discovered recently. It's called grounding, and it's something that has really helped me with being more connected. So I think it's something that's missing from a lot of people's lives, this connection with the earth energy. People started wearing plastic and rubber shoes and insulating themselves from the earth. Something we haven't been really insulated from for thousands of generations. And so I think this is one of the things that's happening, especially noticed by more sensitive people when they get this feeling that there's something missing when they're a kid even, that they're just, basically there's just something a little off with their energy. And I think this is an important thing. It's very simple. And I think it's so simple that a lot of people don't realize that it's an important aspect of being healthy, being connected to the whole earth energy system that we have, you know, and it's something that we're pretty disconnected from as we get into living in tall structures and wearing shoes all the time, not really connecting with the earth. So we're electrical beings, and that's quite obvious, and it's just possible. I think, is this disconnect a reason for depression?
Yes. Do you have a question? Do you have a question you want to ask or something you want to explore?
Yeah. Is it possible that this disconnect is a reason for depression or a reason for people getting bigger egos, that they just, because they're not connected with the earth system, that they're becoming more self-defensive, and they're feeling more pain because they're just not connected with the earth and not connected with the natural system that's basically helping them be more immune and more functional overall. So my question, that's my question basically.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We, as a human species, have become more and more disconnected from our natural state of being, to the extent where we're destroying even our own home, our beautiful planet Earth. And there are many different aspects to that. I think absolutely one of those aspects is that disconnect from nature and the cycles of nature and the energy of nature. To me, it seems like the thing that causes the most suffering to humanity is a misunderstanding, a misconception of who we are or what we are. So there is a belief that's taken on of me as this individual separate self, and it's a concept, and it includes who I believe myself to be, how others perceive me, if I think I'm a good person or a bad person, everything I like, everything I believe in, everything I think is right or wrong, good or bad, should be this way, shouldn't be this way. It's a lot of concepts and mental information. And when we believe ourselves to be that, we identify with one of these concepts. For example, I'm a certain nationality, or I'm a certain religion, or I believe in a specific thing. Then, if that's who we think we are, we have to defend that, and we have to make it right. Because if we lose that, then basically it feels like we will die. And while we're identified with this sense of me as an individual separate self, we experience life through a filter of conditioned beliefs. And everything we perceive is through this filter of separation, me and the others. And this sense of self is constantly trying to enhance itself by either making others wrong and putting them down, like I'm spiritual, they're not. I'm not talking about you, I'm just speaking in general. Or I'm good, they're bad. I have the right way of thinking, they have the wrong way of thinking. And it keeps us locked in this little mental box, and it causes us to suffer. And while that identification is there, we can never discover what I refer to as a true self, the eternal, lasting peace of pure being. And once this identification happens and we open to directly experiencing ourselves as that which transcends the mind, then it's not even necessary to kind of convince anyone or learn how we should behave or what's the more natural way to behave. That is our natural state of being. So there comes a natural inclination to connect with the earth and the earth's energies, not because it's a belief that that's the right thing to do, but it's just the natural way, and we're so connected that we're drawn to that behavior. It's not possible for us to create destruction anymore because we're moving from a deeper place, we're moving from a deep peace within our own being that comes from beyond the conceptual mind. And so it's beautiful to point to people of things that we can improve our health and improve the state of the planet, and these things all have their place. Absolutely, they're wonderful. Grounding is a beautiful technique, yoga, meditation, eating organic food, all wonderful. What seems to me to be the most potent teaching and pointing, and the most urgently required, is for humanity to wake up from this illusion that we are these mental concepts of individual needs that we believe ourselves to be, and inquire into something deeper. Inquire into who am I? What am I? Beyond this physical body, beyond the mind, what is here that cannot die? What is here that was never born? What is here that is unchanging? Because it's only here that we will discover eternal peace. And every action we take and every word we speak will then be born from this deeper stillness, this deeper silence, which is connected to the whole, which is connected to the divine intelligence, because that's what we are.
well, we're the only species that isn't currently connected to the Earth that we were born from. And I'm not sure that answers my question, because it seems that, you know, basically if you feel there's something missing prior to even understanding what a concept is or what a mental position would be relative to somebody else, then it could be a simple matter that is just not being recognized as an issue for people being more connected to the Earth and being more connected to one another. And so it's interesting to me that humans, you know, profess such a great intelligence, but there's a lot of very simple issues that they seem to ignore for the most part. And I think one of them is just being physically connected to the Earth. And it might seem a little simple, but sometimes simple things are very important for how you function in this system, this Earth system. So, you know, I understand your answer saying that, you know, you should go deeper and connect on more higher spiritual levels maybe, but also we are physical beings and we do need to be functioning on a physical level in order to be healthy and to be happy. So I get the feeling that there's a lot of things humans do that are just missing the mark in a lot of ways. And it kind of shows in the amount of plastics and other things that we seem to be not that interested in controlling. So I think this is an issue that needs to be looked at, just how we seem to disconnect from our own environment. And that's, I think that's very important to look at. And I think it's something that comes up now that we're going through this apparent pandemic too. People have more time to really take a look at what's going on when they've been separated from being in the big hamster wheel, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
So a lot of things might come up that are worth looking at.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Ian.
Sure.
Nice to see you.
So,
Hi.
Hello. So, can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So, with this collective rebirth process, death and rebirth process that's happening, I'm also very much undergoing my own death and rebirth process at the moment, and yeah, I'm just struggling because there's a lot of mental confusion, yeah, basically some years ago, about 7 years ago, I had a very big opening through the heart, and then I subsequently got into, I'll try and keep this brief, but I subsequently got into a relationship with someone who was on a very different path to me, and my pattern was just to give all of my authority away. So that's what I did, and he was on this kind of really strong kind of clarity, space awareness path, and so I went into that, and
spent many hours doing a lot of meditation and lots of things, and yeah, I suppose I've got to a point where I'm being called actually very deeply now into a devotional path, and I, from doing all of that practice, I do have a lot. It has developed quite a bit of awareness in my being, but it didn't crack me totally. There's still very much someone here who's identified with mental concepts and things like that, and although there is a capacity to drop through to a degree, but now I'm being invited into this devotional path, which is really kind of anti. It's kind of anti what they would call impersonalism, and yeah, it's just really hard because I don't know how to relate to my experience. I'm getting the information I'm receiving is that I need to let go of everything that has come before and everyone I've worked with before, and I'm just terrified basically, and I feel so helpless and powerless and confused. And yeah, so it's quite intense in the body, let's say. Yeah. So, but at the same time, there's a sense also of me coming into like my own way again, my own authority, rather than giving that authority away for an idea of what I should be, how I was meant to be worthy or something. And yeah, so I was wondering maybe if you could speak to this place, if you had any words, that would be helpful.
Were you at the meeting in Rishikesh a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
You came in the chair and sat with me.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Are you back home now?
No, I'm still in India. I'm now in an ashram in Vrindavan, so I'm being really cooked. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's beautiful that all of this seeing and emotion is coming up to the surface to be processed. It's really beautiful, Isabel. And just be very, very gentle with it.
Yeah.
Just gently dropping your attention into the body.
I'm holding my camera, so I might just have to put it down if that's okay. In order to do that. Yeah.
See if you can keep the camera down so that I can see you.
I think that's going to be okay.
Okay, let's see.
That's about the best I can do.
Yeah, that's okay. So just becoming aware of the breath. And feeling the gentleness of the breath just moving through the body. And very, very gently just dropping into the body and opening up to the sensation. Whatever stories the mind is telling, no matter how true or real it seems, just put that outside of the room for now. So there's just pure awareness. And in this field of openness, very, very gently, including those sensations in the body. Very gently dropping into the body. And allowing all these energies to be here. Allowing all of these thoughts to be here. Yeah, that's it. Just keep following the breath as it moves in and out. That's it. What does it feel like in the body?
It's just a lot of grief moving right now. It's just a lot
Yeah.
of grief.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Allowing it all to come. It's all welcome. It's all beautiful. It's all divine. That's it. And just looking closer at where that experience is happening in the body, because we use this label grief, and that word describes an experience in the body. So just having a closer look, where exactly is that experience in the body, and what is the quality of that sensation in the body? Just very gently having a look.
I can just feel it in my heart center, really.
Beautiful.
And actually, it just feels like a shedding. And it's like
Yeah.
there's a relief in grief as well.
Yeah. Very, very gently, taking your attention into that heart center and just feeling that sensation there, gently opening up to it. Go right inside that sensation with your attention. Beautiful how you're meeting this energy with this presence and this gentleness and softness. That's it, and just allowing the body to move if it wants to move. You're not trying to control or direct the experience in any way. Just surrendering to it, fully allowing it. This grief can stay here as long as it wants to. It's not wrong, it's not bad. It doesn't mean anything about you. It's just an experience that's temporarily passing through the field of awareness. And as it passes through, you just fully open to it, fully surrender to it, and allow this energy to be felt. So we're not trying to get rid of it, we're not trying to heal it, we're not trying to fix it. We're just allowing it to be.
I realise how much fear there is of the grief itself.
Yeah. And welcoming also that fear.
Yeah.
Allowing that also to be here. Beautiful to embrace these raw, very human emotions that so often we try to repress or get rid of or avoid. To meet it full on with an open heart like this, it's really divine. And it takes courage. And this is where we find our true power, because we discover that when we open to these energies that the mind labels as too much or impossible, that actually as pure awareness, we're not touched by it. Nothing can harm us. Nothing can kill us. Nothing can destroy us. Only sensations passing through the body. Just being very, very gentle with the fear. And really honoring that too.
It's like now as we sit, it's like all of this spaciousness has opened up through my heart and my being, and it's like I know it, and I know this place, and so there's this. Then the mind comes in with this, confusion around, then going into a totally different practice, which, has a real value, but also doesn't really make much space for this practice, which feels like a kind of primary foundational practice in just being, just being a human being, relating with phenomena that arises in that experience. And so it's Yeah.
Yeah. And we are both. We are beyond this human experience. We're God itself. We're pure awareness, never born, never died, infinite in nature, untouched by anything. And at the same time, we are temporarily having this beautiful, emotional, up and down human experience. And so beautiful to really embrace that humanness, but without identifying with it, because we know that what we are is this open space of awareness, this vast, untouchable, infinite, pure consciousness. And so it's paradoxical in a way. We're not the body, but we're also experiencing the human body. And part of this human experience is meeting these raw emotions. And spirituality is not about only experiencing bliss and excitement and what we would term positive emotions all the time. There's a whole range of emotions, and it's very healthy and natural to experience all of them.
I mean, that is my that
Yeah.
is my sense. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and our lasting peace comes not from trying to manipulate the emotional state or only experience half of that range of emotions, but by transcending the sensations and emotions and resting as the space in which they appear and pass through. And like Rumi said, I love this phrase that Rumi says, he says, all guests are welcome in this house. So whatever comes, we just be space and let it come. And whatever leaves, we be the space and let it leave. And that's where we discover the lasting peace, which is not any experience. The experience is all temporary. How are you feeling?
I feel, yeah, I mean, I feel a lot of light now.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. There's also, yeah, I think what I was referring to was something different to what you were speaking about. Just then. Or perhaps I've misunderstood, but yeah, but yeah, I think I just actually need to ask some more questions where I am, to people where I am, because I in this tradition of Bhakti, because yeah, I don't fully understand how they relate to all of these things. They're basically just like, the practice is just to, to chant God, to pray to God, and that's the primary practice, and to sing. And it doesn't seem to make much space for this kind of practice, and that's my dilemma. That's my dilemma, really, because I feel like yeah, without doing this sort of practice, I just go completely insane. I just go into my insanity. And And also I can't really connect with God because I don't know, yeah. I suppose that God is this. I don't know that fully for myself, so it's fully beyond doubt. So I can't really say it as if I do, but that is that's the closest that I've known, I think. Apart from big states of bliss and stuff like that, but then they come and go. So yeah.
Inquire into that which never comes and never goes.
Yeah.
That which is always here. And the devotional practice has its place, and it's a beautiful practice, and it can really allow us to open the heart and to connect to the divine. And my experience is that there's not one path or one practice that's the right one. And we're constantly changing and evolving and growing, and sometimes one medicine or one practice is required in one moment, and in another moment it's not what we need at all. We need something else. So we're blessed because we have this whole range of practices, and we have the freedom to embrace whatever feels most true for us in the moment. And then we don't get caught up in any dogma or beliefs that this is the right way, I have to stick to this practice. We're totally free and connected to our own inner knowing of this is what works for me. Right now, this doesn't work for me. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. Maybe it's working amazingly for someone else, but right now, I know my own inner experience more than anyone else, and I know what's needed for me right now. And to really honor that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
You're so welcome. Lovely to see you.
I have to just do one hand prayer because I've got to hold the phone with the other hand. So.
You do one-handed namaste.
Yeah, lovely to see you. Thank you.
We have time for one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have time for one more.
Deborah's gone.
Okay.
So then we've got Kerry.
Hi, Louise.
Hi.
How are you? I just have a quick question. I'm going through. I'm using this time to do some healing and some inner work, and I bought an amethyst. And I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on crystals and using crystals and how they could potentially help in your meditations and your spiritual growth.
Do you have it there with you?
Oh, you want to see it? Yes. Here we go.
Oh, it's a beautiful one. Wow.
It is beautiful, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, so I've been thinking about getting an amethyst for a while. I'm not sure why, as such. And now I want to integrate it into my practice. And I was just wondering if, you had any advice or anything you'd like to advise on how best to use it, really.
Yeah. I'm not really a crystal expert, but I do love crystals. They're very, very beautiful, and I think one of the most lovely practices is just to kind of hold it in your hand or
Yeah.
put it down on the table and feel the energy of the
Yes.
crystal
Yes. I have,
by becoming very, very present and bringing all the attention into this moment and just watching any thoughts, but allowing the attention to focus within and connecting to that energy of the crystal and really seeing the beauty of it and feeling the beauty of it in the heart. It's actually reminding me of a story Eckhart Tolle told, which my friend told me about the other day, that Eckhart would walk through the shopping streets in London, and he would just stand in front of the shops. At that time he didn't have any money, and he would just stand there and admire all the beautiful objects. And it's amazing how much beauty is around us that we miss because we're just caught up in our mind and our thoughts so much, thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow or what that person did to me, or so many problems. And when we take our attention up into the mind, it pulls us out of the present moment and being fully present here. When we're fully present here, and we just perceive what's around us, we can see beauty in the most simple things. Even the table and the colors and the sensations to touch objects and the beauty of the sky and nature and the miracle of life and the breath. And I think crystals can really be a reminder for us to see the beauty all around us, because they're just emanating such a beauty on the level of energy, and also the words gone. I want to say how they look aesthetically.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a reminder to see the beauty and to stay present and to feel the energy of everything that's around us and everything that's connected to us.
Okay, thank you. I'll take that with me.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
Hello, Louise.
Hi.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Right. So I have a question about difficulties with sleeping, and yeah, maybe we could look or explore this a little bit together. Or it's just difficult for me to really manage life with just half broken nights quite a lot, and I know there's, I guess, or I know there's fear behind this. Yeah, to me it's sort of, I usually fall asleep, I'm down for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and then I resurface. And it sort of depends on how much electricity there is in the system. Yeah, before I can make a dip again, and then I usually come up after like an hour. I stay awake a bit, make maybe this dip again, depending on the amount of electricity. And yeah, sort of some like 8 years back, I had quite a stressful period in my life. I had cancer and a lot of different stress at the same time. Sort of my system sort of feels still like a string which has been plucked, like boom, very hard, and it's sort of still or yeah, slowly vibrating, getting less and less, but very easily reactivated. Also, like in the background, I'm a very sensitive person, and yeah, but still, this event, like 8 years back, really triggered this pattern, and it sometimes also feels like a pattern, which I believe to be there and sort of, I don't know, is me or just, and yeah, maybe it's trying to teach me something, and I'm curious what what comes up when you hear this.
Okay. So just bring your attention into the body now. And just become aware of how it feels in the body. What's your experience in this moment?
Quite turbulent. I was already, yeah, building up some anxiety for asking this question. I can feel some tension in my legs, a bit restless.
And just very, very gently open up to feeling these sensations and these energies in the body. So just feeling what we label as tension or anxiety. Totally allowing it to be here. I'm not trying to get rid of it, but just feeling it. And going closer to it with your attention. That's it. What does it feel like?
It's getting calmer.
Okay.
Let's say the turmoil, which was more in the upper part of the body, is calming down, and the tension in the legs still really there.
Okay. And just allowing it to be there and gently taking your attention into the legs. Really feeling those sensations, be fully present with it. And if it wants to get more tense, allowing it to get more tense. If it wants to relax, allowing it to relax. Just really surrender to the sensations and allow them to be here. That's it. Very, very gently. Just feeling it. If it moves or changes, just notice it. And keep opening up to it. Keep saying yes to these sensations. What does it feel like?
My breath is getting a bit more spacious. tension in the leg. Maybe a little bit less.
Yeah. And if it's not less, it's also okay. We're not trying to get rid of it. But just to include it in this moment.
Yeah.
Because you're not choosing that tension. You didn't say, oh yeah, I want to have tension in the legs, breathe. It just came by itself. And when it's ready, it will go by itself. So while it's here, it can either become the enemy or the friend. And one way means that we suffer and we fight or resist, and it takes a lot of our energy. Or we can just accept it and allow it and make friends with it. So as your eyes are open, you can look at me on the screen, but keep all your attention in the body. So the eyes are receiving information, but you're fully present in the body and just opening up deeper and deeper to any sensations you feel within. That's it. If any thoughts arise, just watch them. Bring your attention back here into the body. Now I'll ask you to speak, and as you're speaking, keep your attention here, just like this in the body, feeling the sensations as you're speaking. And see if you can describe your experience to be present like this, feeling the sensations with the eyes open. How do you experience that?
I feel quieting down. There's still turmoil.
Is the turmoil that's happening a problem?
There's a part of me that definitely likes to have this gone.
Yeah. And just noticing that resistance, that part that says, no, this shouldn't be my experience, it should be different. And just watch that resistance. And draw your attention back to that which perceives the part that wants it gone. Those thoughts that say, no, I want this to change. Draw your attention back. That which perceives the thought. Say, no, I want to fix it, I want to get rid of it. Is that affected by the thoughts?
No.
And that which perceives, does it have any preference what experience happens in the body?
can feel alternating between just, it's very okay, and yucky.
So there's a yes and there's a no.
Yeah.
There's an openness and a closeness.
Yeah.
And just having a look, what is it that is aware that there's a no and then a yes? There's openness, closeness. What is it that perceives? So the experience changes. It's yes, it's no.
Mm-hmm.
That which perceives, does that change?
It's just there.
Just there. And is there any distance or separation between you and that which perceives?
No.
So how is your experience to rest as that which perceives, that which is just there? And just notice the yes, the no, the openness, the closeness, and allow that dance to happen by itself. The rest is that which perceives. And maybe the no comes and it shouts, no, really loud. And you just allow it to shout. And then that moment of allowing comes. Just watch that. So we're giving up trying to control the experience, whether it's open, whether it's closed, and just allowing it to be however it is.
Yeah. Well, I still want to say, like, this is very difficult with this, within the sleeping problem thing.
Yeah.
Just a groove, like, boom, I get there. I can feel it being there, and it's sort of, yeah, damn it.
Yeah. So you can try all the techniques that are out there, the chamomile tea, the going to bed at certain hours, the yoga, listening to relaxing music. You can try everything. The doctors, the naturopaths, all of these things. If something helps, that's wonderful. If nothing is changing it, there's only two options left. Either to mentally argue with the experience and say, it shouldn't be like this, I'm suffering, it's difficult, and maybe it's true, it is difficult. But that mental argument adds an extra layer of suffering to your experience. So the body's tired, the emotions are tired, and then there's a mental story that's making us a victim out of a situation that can't be changed. And it just makes us suffer more. Or we can accept it, okay, it's like this. If there's some action I can take, if there's some diet something I can eat or drink that helps, maybe you can explore many different things. And if something works, that's wonderful. But peace can also be here by accepting and allowing that this is how it is. And drawing the attention back and just observing that thought pattern that argues and allowing it to come and go. Resting as a space in which the experience happens. There you can always find peace. It's always accessible, no matter what's happening in the body.
You would say this is the ultimate sleeping medicine.
It's the ultimate peace medicine. I don't know if it'll help you sleep or not, but it can definitely bring peace.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us today and joining together like this, just to be and explore. If you'd like to receive emails about more Zoom meetings online that I'll be doing, and also group events around the world and retreats, you can go to my website, louisekay.net, and you can subscribe to my newsletter there, and then you'll get an email. I'm planning to do more of these Zoom meetings, so I hope to see you again soon. Lots of love.